And Rose takes it inside. He levels the bat a couple of times. Shao kicks and he fires. Rose swings.
There it is! There it is! Get out! Get out! All right!
Hit number 4192.
The moment was overwhelming. Pete's brother David put his arms around his mother. They embraced and cried for the next several minutes. The Reds players came out of the dugout. They hoisted their hero manager onto their shoulders. And there was a love affair at Riverfront Stadium between those in the stands and number 14, who had just conquered one of baseball's greatest records. Owner Marge Schott came out, hugged Rose, and presented him with a new Corvette, license number 4192, of course. Well, the Padres sat and waited. The stadium shouted, cried, and clapped. Finally, the moment got the best of Rose. He had to brush back a tear. He looked to Tommy Helms for support, and then his son Petey raced out of the dugout and hugged his dad in a very touching moment. It was something everyone was feeling.
Not just the city of Cincinnati, not only his mom, brother, son, and family. When Pete Rose broke the career mark for base hits on that night on his home field, the baseball world and that of millions of fans stopped in their tracks to celebrate the record no one ever thought would be broken. Pete Rose was the hometown kid, the superstar player, the spit and vinegar kind of guy you had to love simply because he played the game with grit, toughness, and a sense of fair play. But it's that last one that Rose would throw away just a few years later.
A man who says baseball is his life may have to spend the rest of his life as an outsider in the sport. Baseball legend Pete Rose has been banned from the game by Commissioner Bart Giamatti. CNN's Nick Charles reports.
After nearly 3 decades in the game, baseball for Pete Rose became a vanished reality Thursday. Baseball Commissioner Bart Giamatti in New York ended 6 months of swirling questions and banished Pete Rose permanently from baseball in front of a backdrop appropriately draped in funereal black.
The banishment for life of Pete Rose from baseball is the sad end of a sorry episode. One of the game's greatest players has engaged in a variety of acts which have stained the game, and he must now live with the consequences of those acts.
Pete Rose gambled on baseball, admitted it, spent the years since then swearing he did nothing wrong. In other words, for all those years, he lied over and over and over again.
Pete, let me ask you now. It seems as though that there is an opening. The American public is very forgiving. Are you willing to show contrition, admit that you bet on baseball, and make some sort of an apology to that effect?
Not at all, Jim. Not at all. I'm not going to admit something that happened. I know you get tired of hearing me say that, but I appreciate the ovation. I appreciate the American fans voting me on that all-century team, and I'm just a small part of a big deal tonight.
With the overwhelming evidence that is in that report, why not make that step with this opening?
It's too much of a festive night to worry about that. I mean, because I don't know what evidence you're talking about. I mean, show it to me.
Well, that report said, but we don't want to debate that, Pete.
Well, why not? Why do we want to believe everything he says?
Why did you sign a paper acknowledging the ban? Why did you sign it if you didn't agree to
but it also says I can apply for reinstatement after 1 year. If you remember correctly in the press conference. Matter of fact, my statement was I can't wait for my little girl to be a year old so I can apply for reinstatement at my press conference. So you forgot to add that clause that was in there.
Rose did finally admit he bet on baseball, though it took him 15 years after being nailed. 2004 in a book is when Pete finally decided the time was right to come clean. Not that he did it for any altruistic reason. His accomplishments on the field made him not only eligible, but deserving of the Hall of Fame. All those years on the outside looking in, scrambling to make a living out of card shows and personal appearances weren't exactly raking in the cash. Pete decided to come clean. We noted because this week marked the 25th anniversary of his suspension, and the clamor has risen anew for Rose to be allowed entry into Cooperstown. I covered the Rose case from the inception and know more than a little about what went on behind the scenes. I have no room for cheats and liars, never had, never will. But I understand the need of forgiveness, so let's make it simple. Pete Rose should be inducted into the Hall of Fame tomorrow with a permanent plaque that details his cheating, breaking of rules, subsequent lies, final acceptance, and induction. It should be there for all to see for eternity, right alongside his hits and batting average. Because in sport, just like in life, we deserve to live with the legacy we create for ourselves. It is called personal responsibility. And that is telling it like it is. Next hour here on MidPoint, Republican women fed up with the good old boy party and determined to do something about it. That and so much more coming up right here on MidPoint, where every day we question everything.